bidding farewell to a friend, a loved one. It's the toughest thing in life. And yesterday, I had, a moment even to ask God, why the good ones have to go? Why do the evil ones still stay and do what they do? But I guess it's a question I'll ask many times in my life, and well, I'll never get an answer to it. Yesterday, I made a call, something that I've been doing a lot, calling this friend who I met in hospital, checking up on him like I've been doing all along. The last I'd called him was last week, Thursday, before I went for a long 3-day trip for a wedding. And so when I was calling him that particular time, he was being rushed to hospital, he was ill. And 2 weeks before, I'd called him, just checking up on him, and he told me he was very sick, he was now on crutches, and so I had to make some calls and connections and ensure food arrived at where he was, because he was in the area of up country. So I found someone from up country who I could send and send money and everything to make sure he's okay, and then to get a report. So the last I spoke to him was when he was being rushed to hospital, and conversation was there, we'll catch up when the doctor is done with you. It was just supposed to be a simple procedure, but from the tone in his voice, he was really low. So yesterday I did what I do a lot, call, because I'd arrived on Sunday around 10 or 11 p.m. So I was quite exhausted. Then yesterday was like washing laundry. So yeah, I said let me the day before. Then yesterday I said, hey, let me call a brother. So I call him. The other person picks the phone is a lady, so I think that's the spouse. Only to realize my friend is gone out of this dimension, out of this world. And my heart sank because I knew him, because he came at a time that was very sensitive. January 7th, 2024, I was driving, I was was dropping my mom up country. As I was coming back, so I had to meet my sister and drop her at her workplace. I and my sister were not we are not still in the best place. High and fine is enough, because she's really done some mess. Anyway, I had a cousin we had raised and become a big boy, took him to a relative, and turned 18, but also turned against me. Anyway, so he had a box, high school of this box, and I dropped it at a friend's place. And that friend's place is like, from where I live, should be like an hour's drive. But now I was up country. That should be now 3 to 4 hours drive. So the idea was I drop my mom up country, drop my sister at her workplace, then drop down and go pick the box and take it home, because I didn't want his box to be in another person's home, because those issues with families. Where is this? Yeah. So that's trying to avoid. I hit the road. I'm good. Arrive near an intersection, and when I arrive at that intersection, I notice as I'm driving close a lot of debris on the road. That makes me scared, because sand and tarmac is just a dangerous mix. Anyway, long story short, I step on the debris, and then I notice as I'm trying to avoid, there's a big stone. So I'm trying to avoid. The stone was on the left hand side. So in my head, I've done my calculation. I've avoided this stone. It's literally on the road. It's a big one. But to my disadvantage, it had, the lower end was a bit, it's a bent, and it's a sharp one. So I struck that one. I think either the front wheel or the back wheel. The car loses control. I smash into, it's not like a wall. I wouldn't call a wall per se. There's this, I don't know, blocks or something when doing construction. They normally put them on most of our highways. I ram hard. I'm thrown back to the same stone, then back again. So eventually the car is very small. I'm thrown out of the car. The driver's seat flies off. The door flies off, and everything inside it. And my left hand side, what is called airbag, comes out first on the left, yet I'm the driver, and then mine comes out. So I wear specs, my specs goes, I go blind and all that. Anyway, in that incident, I lose my right shoulder and a tooth. Shoulder to the extent that it came off. And then now for me to be able to get help, I have to run towards oncoming traffic to listen to people. So I was blind. I was blinded by these lights for cars, the bright ones. And I don't have much memory because after that, people just came to help me. And fast forward, now in that time, people are being called. Calls are being made in between. I'm in and out of conscious. And all the family members except my mother who are being called, and these are people I've stood with in their families in their most sensitive times. When they're being called by the guys, the Good Samaritans, they were actual riders. They keep asking them, how's the car? How's the car? How's the car? Nobody gave a damn about me. Anyway, by God's grace, I end up in the first hospital. I'm mistreated. When they're taking an x-ray, I'm taking the second hospital, same mistreatment. In fact, this one is where the operation was eventually done, but I'm told if you leave him there, if anything happens to him, it's not his problem. Then I'm taken to a relative's home, someone who I've really stood with. And when we get to her house, she has 2 sons, and now the cousin, so now that makes 3. When we get to the parking, because that's the only home I could go, she decides to dodge. And when we reach the door, she slams her bedroom, like she didn't want me in that house. Mind you, I'm broken, no first aid has been done. So yeah, anyway, I am mistreated. And I end up in hospital, in one hospital bed. And then I meet this old lady who asks questions, these cousins that I had. Who's this guy? Where's the mother of this guy? And they tell him, one tells her, oh, I have school to go to. The other one says, me, I have better things to do. I have to go to sleep. The one who said I have to go to sleep is one I raised since he was a child. Raised him to be a big boy. Anyway, that's how life works. So anyway, I'm there. Everything is crashing in my life. And then I meet this guy, quiet, calm, in his 50s. He was, I think, 50. At the time, I was 33. And he encourages me. When I go to the opera, we become good friends to the point I was told when I was in the opera on the theater, I was asking for him. He became a brother, a friend, and since then we were in contact. Even after I was discharged, we were in contact through and through. I knew a lot about him, and we would talk actually. And so become good friends. Actually, how I ended up doing content creation, he literally played a role. And also a country when we were going through trying to hold accountable our leaders that we lost many brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, as the government has and is still trying to suppress. So he was my friend. He was a brother. He encouraged me because even after the accident, the healing, my mom was here only for 4 months. And in May, in our country, we had a lot of floods, so that's the time she left. And I was being helped by a particular neighbor, a work of a particular neighbor, the riders. Those are the people who helped me. Beyond that, I only had a dog, which was like a therapy dog that sadly died last year, December, of a disease I don't know. It was okay. Then, I was sorting the landscaping of the ground, and then when I was organizing, the one was doing it, the dog was okay. His name was Scooby. Then following day 4 a.m., he's gone. Loss. And then in that same May, I lost another uncle who was very close to me because we would communicate. Even after the accident, he came. We live in a time but we really never know when the right time to say goodbye comes. I had a sister, recall, back in 2002, her last words was, help me with the battle pen and I love you. Next thing, that should have been around 8, 9, she's gone. I had a former colleague who was telling me how she loved her kids and everything, wishing me well in my life and career. She was my boss. I go to training, some training for insurance, specifically trustee related. Next thing, I receive a call, she's gone. Loss doesn't come knocking at your door. Nobody knows. So all I'm saying is, in this moment of grief, is whatever your hands can do, whatever your heart can do it. Because today is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. In this world where they want to promote war and all these types of cleansing, whatever you can do with one heart, do it. You never know. For me, I met a friend now who I thought I'd meet. Now I have to go and lay roses. So wherever and whatever you can do, make a difference.